Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment.
They're not going to do them on Raw or SmackDown. They know why the fans are going to see this and then have to pay to see the pay-per-view. That's why I think they're holding back now.
Yeah, and I see the points, but I think there's also been a lot of injuries. And, guys, we are in the moment. And we're just talked about last night how Daniel Bryan suffered, a major injury. I think it's the same neck injury. He really didn't talk much about it. He just talked about how he had to relinquish his Intercontinental title, which is the second title that he's had to drop back to back. I don't think any other person in history, WWE history, or even wrestling history, has had to drop two titles, major titles, back to back, and now possibly even retire. We don't know what his future is. His future's more uncertain than it was before. Me, Andy, and of course Lance did get our input about that. It is now on YouTube at youtube.com/HWR show. Joe, your thoughts? Okay.
Interesting.
As we move on, Andy, do you think now with what's going to happen? Right now, we found out just recently today that the Intercontinental title is going to be now put on Payback at the Elimination Chamber. What's your thoughts on that?
It's pretty obvious it was going to happen. The only thing is, who are they going to pull in to have the match? I mean, to me, they should have a tournament where everybody on the roster should have a knockout tournament and make it last 2 or 3 months, and then have a big build-up for the fan. Then it makes it worthwhile that everyone's at least had a go, because we just know it's going to be your people like Sheamus, Moxie, Wyatt, Wade Barrett. It's going to be the same 4 or 5 people.
Well, I'm sure that's what they're going to do. They're probably going to have a tournament over the next 4 weeks until they get to Elimination Chamber, and then they're going to have the final 5 or 6 people in there for the IC title.
Oh,
and I'm guessing that is the story.
There's one thing I do want to say is it's an appeal out there for everybody who's got the WWE Network. Please do us a favour on the 31st of May when the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is actually broadcast on the network. Please turn it off and don't watch it, because us people in the UK can't get the fucker. And if it becomes a hit, all the pay-per-views will be on the network. So do think about the British fans as well.
And you know what? That is actually a very interesting topic that I do want to get on before we get on to our main topic tonight, is that it's only exclusive on the WWE Network. It is not going to be on pay-per-view, Andy, and I know that is obviously a very sore spot for you. And
yeah, because sorry to cut you off, but what I think's going to happen, this is going to be the teaser, this is going to be the toe in the water, and if it becomes a big hit, it'll be, why pay all television rights when we can put it on our own network and charge people $9.99 for it, and we've got no worries about television restrictions? So this is going to be a teaser, and trust me, if you guys out there who've got the network watch it, you're basically shitting on the rest of the wrestling fans that haven't got the privilege at the moment to be able to get the network. What are we supposed to do if every pay-per-view after this one becomes network only?
You know what? I'm going to say it like this. This is where WWE's going to suffer, but what's going to happen is fans are just going to go directly to illegal streams to get.
I don't see that happening, because with the WWE Network, that's not going to happen, because it is much easier to catch illegal streams. It's not like back in the day. That's not going to happen. They were only streaming pay-per-views. Chances of that happening is slim to none. Now, Lance, you do not have the WWE Network, am I correct?
That is right.
Now, do you plan on getting the WWE Network, or how do you feel about this?
One, I don't know if this is going to be more like a Elimination Chamber like they did with the King of the Ring, which basically made it a freaking hour deal, or if it's going to be a full card, which I don't see how in the hell they're going to be able to book a full card in 2 weeks. But getting it or not, I might get the thing for Christmas, maybe. But other than that, if it's just for I don't see how it's going to be that good of a show anyway.
You know what? And now that we're talking about Payback, if you really want to look at the card itself is not that much different from Extreme Rules.
True.
Let's start with a kickoff match. And this kickoff match, first off, they have Curtis Axel and Damian Mandow, which that's not helping his career any, versus the Ascension. Now you have two tag teams. This is a piss break, guys, straight up. Who's going to win? My guess is it should be the Ascension. It should really put them over. But if they lose, they should just go right back to NXT. Anybody agree or disagree on this one?
Well, to me, this is the WWE form of Ambien. And, well, how I see it, the real winners is going to be the guys at the concession stand, because everybody's going to go get, before this real show starts, go fill up their popcorn, go get a drink, maybe a little bit of food, while this bullshit match is happening. But, yeah, I think the Ascension needs to get either win or go back to NXT for a repackaging, because if you lose to the Mega Jobbers, you're in trouble.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but my pick is going to be officially Axel and Mandow, because I think that's just how this is going to go. Joe, your pick.
Well, this is a match that's known as the Night of the Imitators, because it's the imitating Road Warriors versus the imitating Hulk and Macho. This one is a tough call because it's, right now, I have to agree, it's really tough. If the Ascension doesn't win this match, then they definitely should go back to NXT and start from the drawing board all over again. If I don't see Mandow and Axel Mania winning this because they're two goofs now. I hate to say that because Damian Sandow has did a lot as as the Miz's little stunt double. I think unfortunately that was his promise. I think that whole thing there was the ticket for him. Now he's back to jobber status. So I have to say, if I had to flip a coin and say who's going to win, I'll have to say Mandow and Axel Mania.
All right. And Andy, over to you.
Yeah, I agree with Joe. I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen. I really do. I agree with Joe entirely.
All right. And then we're going to have Rusev versus John Cena for the U.S. title match. And, again, I don't see this match going any other way. John Cena obviously has been winning match after match after match. And, obviously, this is just another U.S. title match. How it's going to go down, obviously, whether Lana is... We've seen Rusev and Lana having issues, so I'm guessing that Lana somehow is going to be another factor that's going to, cause Rusev to lose. I won't say help Cena win. It's just going to cause Rusev to lose in some aspect. And John Cena's going to walk out with the title one way or another. That's my pick. Lance, over to you.
Yes, same. I mean, since right now the stipulation is Cena loses, he retires, or is out of the WWE, which is saying he's going over. It's just simple Vince McMahon logic. Because they're not getting rid of Cena. Granted, I'm the anti-Cena guy in the group, but still. They're not making him leave. Not again.
All right. Andy, over to you.
It's obviously going to be a John Cena win again. I just don't see why we have to keep seeing the same match over and over again. It's getting a bit repetitive and boring.
Yeah, and I think we all agree on that one. Joe, over to you.
This match again. I had hopes that Rusev would probably have won this, but again, they're not going to let Super Cena lose. So, yeah, it's going to be something where either Lana finally gets fed up and turned against Rusev and debuts her new USA bikini bottom and bikini top.
Which we will all approve.
Exactly. But I was hoping that this would be a different scenario. But if there's any stipulations that it comes down to Cena has to put his career on the line, I don't see him leaving anytime soon. So, yeah, it's It's Cena one more time. And you know what's funny, guys? And I said this every time we do our picks. Don't we have that enthusiasm, that feeling like we can't wait for this to happen?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And, again, this 75 to 80% of this match, I'll even say 90% of this match is all Extreme Rules. Again, we're going to move on to Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus, only this is not a Kiss My Arse match like last match. And, do I want to say that Dolph Ziggler could win? Probably not, because Dolph Ziggler won the last match, so my guess is that Sheamus will win this match hook or crook. So, that's my pick. Andy, over to you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Sheamus all the way.
All right.
Unfortunately. Or fortunately, whichever.
Joe, over to you.
I got to agree with the panel so far. It's the Mohawk and Sheamus for the win.
All right, Lance, over to you.
I gotta go with the guy who looks like he has a beard full of dingleberries, Sheamus.
All right. And next, we're going to have Wade Barrett versus Neville.
Excuse me. King Barrett.
Oh, King Barrett, I'm sorry. I forgot he's royalty now, and yes. Now, this one, I could actually see be a coin tosser. I would like to see Neville win, because, and I think on the push that he's been getting, he could very well get that win. But Wade Barrett could, but he might get the win via DQ. Do I see him winning cleanly? Not likely. So that's just how I see that. That's my pick. Joe, over to you.
I'm gonna go straight for the King Man himself, Barrett. He's gonna win it. They're not gonna just give him the King of the Ring and say, okay, lose. I think he's gonna get the upper hand this time. It's gonna happen. Fans, I know I'm going to put the spoiler whammy on you guys, but every match, every person that lost in Extreme Rules, except for Cena, is going to probably win this time around. Sheamus, Barrett, probably Cesaro and everybody else. Rick, I'm sorry. It's as funny as it sounds. It's just now the losers from the last pay-per-view are going to be the winners, and the winners from the last pay-per-view are going to be the losers.
Yeah, pretty much. And now, of course, we're moving on to another match, which is, again, a rematch, which is the New Day versus Tyson and Cesaro. And, again, this is a tag team title match. And I got to disagree with you, because I think if Tyson and Cesaro win the match, they're not walking out with the tag team titles. I still say that New Day and the New Day are just going to retain the titles so that they can go on to Elimination Chamber, which is going to be the second Elimination Chamber for the tag team titles. That's just my thought. Joe, back to you.
Another match I'm not enjoying. Do I see? I have to agree with you. I probably will see Cesaro and Tyson Kidd win this one, but it won't be anything clean. They'll win by DQ because Xavier Woods or Coffee or somebody is going to interfere for them. Buckwheat might interfere. Who knows? Somebody's going to interfere in favor of the New Day. So while Tyson Kidd and Cesaro win the match by DQ, they don't win the titles. And I think that's going to be something that they're going to look to do, to build up another rematch.
Exactly. All right, Lance, over to you.
Well, just another match I could give two shits about, but I'll go with Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Why not?
All right, Andy, your thoughts?
I'm going to go with Cesaro's team, to be honest.
Okay. And now we finally have a match that's really not, a rematch. It's Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins for the WWE title. And there's one kind of a special stipulation that's just happened since last night. And Triple H made it very, very clear that if Seth Rollins does not walk out with the WWE title, he will no longer have a job. Now, I don't know if that means he's going to have a job with the Authority or no longer have a job inside the WWE. My guess is he's not going to have a job inside the Authority. So, do I see Kane finally having enough and helping somebody help Seth Rollins lose the title? It's very possible. So, I would like to see Seth Rollins win this title. I would like to see Roman Reigns win this title, but I don't see that happening just yet. It should happen, but I think that if that's going to happen, it's going to be Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns one-on-one at some point in time. So not just yet. I think Seth Rollins is going to hold on to that title just one more month. Andy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with you, Rick, on this one. Again, like Joe said earlier, it's another match that we're probably all thinking, why? I'm sorry, watching the pay-per-views just lately is no different than watching Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that these matches are really anything like worth watching. So, and I'm sure that next week we'll be bitching about these matches. Joe, over to you.
You know what, Rick? I think we've talked about this before. The biggest scenario you can do with this match to save it is reform the Shield. They get tired of the Authority and prove they can go on without the Authority. It'll be like a big swerve because it doesn't make sense. You're putting the Shield members in one match. Two guys, Ambrose and Reigns, who have since WrestleMania haven't really done anything. They've been stagnant. They've been floundering a bit. You know, and the way that the fans have not accepted much Roman Reigns. The way I see this happening is Seth Rollins will win, keep the title belt, but it's not going to be a situation where he's going to win it cleanly. It's going to be something that the Shield members, either one of them or both, look at Randy Orton and say, you know what, guys, remember what we said. We're stronger together. They're gonna do their match. Midway through it, they're going to look at each other and turn against Randy Orton. Probably prompting Kane to come out to try to find out what the hell is going on. They'll beat up on him and announce that they're going away, and Triple H can say, hey, you know what? I just got my better team. I just got the Shield back, and I'll fire Kane. That's my scenario. So, long story short, definitely Seth Rollins is keeping that belt.
If that does happen, I'm going to be honest with you, and before I go over to Lance, I think that would be the most retarded thing, and I understand that a lot of fans will mark out. It doesn't make sense because Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose have been fighting back and forth, and even Seth has double-crossed them, and it's like, you know, you don't turn with somebody who stabs you in the back. And I understand that's WWE logic, but it just... Yep. You know, it just shows you how stupid fans would be.
I'm sorry, Lance, I don't mean to take up any of your time or Andy's, but if you look at the scenario, it's all about making money in the merch. And in this case, Shield merchandise, good or bad, like the NWO, like DX, it's going to be one of those things that, hey, you know what? It makes sense. And unfortunately, that's... in a scenario like this where both guys are floundering, you got one guy that has no credibility whatsoever as champion, it's the best scenario would be bring the Shield members back together to either turn them against the corporation or turn them with the corporation and boot out Kane and probably Big Show. Because it's logical. It's Reigns already beat Big Show. Kane has been getting pretty much spit slapped back and forth, and then you have Randy Orton, who, on his own merits, he could lead another team, a stable. So this would be something either for Elimination Chamber, where you have the corporation versus, or the Shield members versus the anti-Shield members, or the anti-Shield group, or whatever, however you want to play it. So I think that's why I focus on my theory of the Shield coming together against, and Seth Rollins keeping the title.
All right. Lance, over to you.
While I'd love to see Ambrose walk out with the belt, I don't see that happening. He's in there to do maybe one or two crazy-ass spots. But honestly, I see Rollins walking out retaining the belt.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty much, most of us are in agreement. And again, it's the WWE logic, I guess, is possible. I know a lot of fans, like, as we said before, would mark out if the Shield got back together. But you know what? I think right now what we want to know is what your thoughts. Make sure you put your comments in the comments section below, and please make sure you hit that like button. And, of course, make sure you follow us over at Facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. And please follow us at HWR Show at YouTube.com. Andy, where can everyone find you at?
Now you can find me at www.stokehaunted.com.
All right. And, of course, we have the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, where can everyone find you? What do you got going on?
Yeah, when they can find that bastard. Oh, wait a minute, that's me. You can find me on Facebook at Joseph Knight Manager. You can also follow the CWA at Facebook.com, Classic Wrestling Association. You can also see our matches I just uploaded on YouTube, on my channel, Classic Nights. I'm going to be uploading a few other videos, too. And also, you can follow us on our website at ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com.
And, of course, we have the incomparable Lance Moss, and you can find him at YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV. Lance, what do you got going on?
I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck Gorman cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, the archives of controversies and scandals, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV.
All right. So for everyone here, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.